It's good to be here today. You got a lot to discuss. I want you to introduce the panel for your chat, but I feel like today's discussion is around influence marketing, going beyond traditional media to engage fans with a partner like Pirates Booty, which, by the way, as a father of 2 boys, there's tons of that in here. So I may snack on that while you're talking, but I want to pass you the baton and you take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pete. I think we are going to kick it off with this sizzle first.
Captain Bob.
Oh boy.
Oh, can you discover lost maps, avoid booby traps, be ever so clever and lucky perhaps? If ye finds the booty where X marks the spot, then Captain Bob's treasure is yours to unlock.
Are you ready for the first challenge? Got that out of your system? Why, we're in the middle of the ocean and you have to walk the plank to safety. Oh no. Land ho! Yeah! This is crazy. I cannot believe Mom and Dad built all this.
Gather your family and create your own pirate adventure at home.
Ahoy! Today we'll be going on an adventure. We're gonna hunt for treasure.
Freely Engage are going to help Winston and Layla become pirates for the day. First challenge, climb under danger. Guess what's next? The floor is lava!
Evie, the X is over there. And the chest.
Oh, it is real lava. It is real lava.
Yes!
Great shot.
Now you're pirates, you're mateys, you're buccaneers, true. If you try this at home, you can find treasure too.
Brought to you by Pirates Booty.
Good morning, everyone. As Pete mentioned, I'm Lisa Bull, Vice President, Integrated Marketing at Velocity ViacomCBS, and I'm the moderator for today's panel, Unlocking Influence, Nickelodeon and Pirates Booty Share Its Success. I'm part of the Velocity Group, which is a full-service branded content studio here at ViacomCBS, delivering marketing and creative solutions that seamlessly integrate our ad partners' brands into the cultural conversation. Today, we are going to discuss the collaboration between Nickelodeon and Pirates Booty in an influencer content campaign that spanned digital and social platforms, as you got a sneak peek of in the sizzle that we just showed. My team worked closely with the brand team at Pirates Booty on the pre and post sale components of this campaign. So it's a true privilege to be here today to share some of the tactics and principles that contributed to driving positive business results. We'll also look at how the influencer landscape is evolving rapidly and where it fits into Pirates Booty's overall strategy. As Pete mentioned, please feel free to drop questions for our panelists in the chat along the way, and we'll try to answer a few of them towards the end of the session. So I'm joined this morning by Devon Rubenstein, Brand Manager at Amplify Snack Brands, and Dion Morton, Senior Manager, Influencer Marketing at ViacomCBS. Before we get started, Devon and Daion will quickly introduce and share a little fun fact about themselves, and then we'll dive into the conversation.
Hi everyone, I'm Devon Rubenstein. I am currently the brand manager on Pirates Booty at Amplify Snack Brands. Super excited to be here today talking to all of you, and especially talking about Unlock Your Treasure, which is one of the most fun things I've gotten to work on. I've been with Amplify for about 3.5 years now, and before that was over with Hershey. And my fun fact is that I actually got married this past weekend. So definitely a lot of excitement, a bit of a whirlwind this past week, but super excited to be here.
Congrats again, Devon. Hi, everyone. I'm Dion Morton. I'm a Senior Talent Manager within the Digital Integrated Marketing Division of ViacomCBS. I serve as the liaison between talent and brand partners, overseeing casting for various branded programming initiatives, both digital and linear, for clients ranging from food and beverage, fashion, auto, telco. It truly runs the gamut. A fun fact about me, I adopted my first puppy recently. I fell into the quarantine trap. He runs my house. His name's Duke, and I love him so much. But yeah, nice to meet everyone. I'm super excited to be here.
Thanks. Congratulations again, Devon, and Daion, congratulations on becoming a new pet owner.
Yes, congrats, Daion.
So as we just saw in the sizzle, it just kind of reminded me again of all the incredible types of content we created for this program. It was really deeply rooted in influencer families to drive the brand awareness as well as sweepstakes entries. Devon, I'd love for you to provide just a top line overview of the program and Pirates Booty's goal of the campaign.
Sure. So Unlock Your Treasure truly began first year in 2021 as a sweepstakes program to try to drive some excitement during summer for Pirates Booty, which is historically one of the slower periods on the brand. And then as we were thinking through partners, we realized ViacomCBS and Nickelodeon specifically would truly be the ideal partner for us for this big sweepstakes. So we approached them with a few key asks, which was to help us just drive awareness of the brand and help us really generate brand love. And then ultimately sales conversions through their giant platforms. And then also to help us generate more excitement with the actual sweepstakes prize, leveraging Nickelodeon resorts. So really a big ask for them, and they delivered in every way that we could have imagined and more.
That's great. It was such a fun program to work on, and you know, kind of the merging of the two brands together, right? Which was wonderful. We also noted that, you know, the campaign performed incredibly well against our KPIs, right? Over delivering on guarantees while exceeding benchmarks and engagements, completion rates, and audience sentiment. So Devon, what do you think contributed to the success of this partnership?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there were a few things that really led to the success. So the main one was that we truly were looking for this layered media approach that would really hit on all parts of the marketing funnel. So from just leveraging and driving awareness to the actual conversion. So we worked with ViacomCBS to create YouTube content using one of our influencer families. And that was really focused on driving that upper level, upper funnel awareness. And it was really awesome because there were some restrictions about what we were able to put in the content, how much we could actually show the product. So we managed to create really great, fully branded content without ever really talking about the product itself, but everything and all the brand equity truly managed to come through. And then we also leveraged influencers for those more lower funnel tactics and just driving the actual conversion specifically about the sweepstakes and how they could enter. And then something else that I think just really worked on our side and led to the success was this was airing truly during the heart of COVID. Parents were looking for any way possible to entertain their children, to do something different. And our campaign really gave them like easy tactical things to do to create these obstacle courses and Unlock Your Treasure programming on their own at home, which we heard just great rave reviews that it really did serve them and benefit them during this time.
Absolutely. And as a parent myself, I will have to say that we recreated some of the treasure hunts as well at home. And it was exactly what you said and what we heard from the sentiment from different viewers, that it really helped sort of provide new innovative ways to connect, to do something different after the 1000th day that you're sort of spent home together, all locked up together. So you mentioned kind of creating long form branded storytelling for YouTube in working with influencers can still be a testing ground for some marketers. But what did you learn from this campaign that you didn't expect?
I think one of the big learnings for all of us, and Lisa, you can probably speak to this even more, was just about how important it is to be nimble and able to pivot and work with partners who are nimble and able to pivot. We had a lot of learnings year one about the complexities in advertising to kids, making sure everything we were doing was COPPA compliant and matched up with Hershey, our parent company's kind of guidelines and standards, as well as our own. So we definitely had to think on our feet a little bit as we were kind of going through the process, change some of our content at the last minute. And I think this is just especially important as we know regulations for kids marketing, as well as just on these media platforms, are changing so frequently. Being able to have a partner that understands the ins and outs of this and able to work with you to create the best content possible and even make shifts during when the program is live is super key to us. And then I think another learning for us was just that, especially with influencers and when they're creating this longer form content, and it's more than just one social post, people really truly associate them with your brand. So making sure you thoroughly vet everyone and feel like the partners you pick really align with the brand values and everything that you want to stand for, knowing that consumers will really start to kind of view you similarly or as a partnership going forward.
Yeah, I would have to say that having worked within the kids and family space for quite some time, there are definitely some nuances to consider when creating content, especially in these new formats, as you mentioned, and new platforms. And so, it was great to have Amplify as like a partner in the process. We really sort of locked arms, and as things changed, as regulations changed, we all, together with the guidance from like our legal and standards team, who are, in the day-to-day of compliance for kids and family marketing, really helped to sort of guide us through some of the challenges that we faced. And for this campaign in particular, we partnered with Pirates Booty partnered with a variety of diverse influencer families, which I really loved. We saw the Ohana adventure. They were kind of the star. They were featured in the YouTube longer form content. This Is How We Bing 'Em, Hey Kaylee, the Top Flight Family, and Heather Avis. Daion, how should brands be thinking about their talent strategy at the macro level when we're looking at sort of a combination of different types of influencers to round out a program like the Pirates Booty and Nickelodeon one?
Yeah, influencer marketing is a multi-billion-dollar industry that has truly proven to be an effective marketing tactic. So we're seeing it go from these smaller test budgets to now commanding, their own standalone large-scale budgets. So in many ways, when we think about the levels of talent in context of the levels of the marketing funnel, we have to consider what exactly are the KPIs we're trying to reach here, right? So for more of like for brand awareness and impact, we're looking at more like macro level talent versus like for conversion and engagement, which would be more of our nano or our micro talent. So as the industry does continue to mature and evolve, I believe we're going to continue seeing a greater distinction between how we define who an influencer is versus a creator. For example, an influencer usually has like a larger footprint or audience, and our traditional household names, like your favorite athletes, your favorite musicians, your favorite actors too as well. They're really, really great for brands when it comes to wanting to gain more or broader exposure, gaining more attention, or impacting sales. But now, on the contrary, we're also seeing a birth of a new generation of innovators known as creators or digital natives, who are really powerful tools for marketers looking to tap into new and emerging platforms like TikTok, one that I'm still trying to create a video and produce for, but my 5-year-old cousin can. It's crazy. But these creators or digital natives are really great at helping brands and supporting them in ways that they can better show up natively across those platforms, because these creators are so fluent and knowledgeable when it comes to being the voice of these platforms. So bringing it back to the Nickelodeon Pirates Booty campaign, we casted creators that really supplemented our content production needs, given their proficient knowledge of the platform, ideation, and creation. So it was kind of a 2-for-1 deal.
Thanks, Dion. It's really incredible to sort of see this evolution of influencers and creators. I mean, I sort of even from 4 or 5 years ago to today, and I really can't see what's next on the horizon and how they will continue to disrupt and evolve the space. And, just speaking about creators and influencers, we know that, authenticity is critical when it comes to creating branded content targeted to youth audiences. So Devon, what are some of Pirates Booty's guiding principles that have informed its approach to brand storytelling?
So I think first and foremost, since the brand's inception in the 80s, we are a brand with a pirate mascot on pack. We also have the word booty in our name. So from the get-go, we couldn't take ourselves too seriously. And I think this is always one of our main guiding principles, is that we have to be fun. We have to be a little bit irreverent, because that's what people want and expect from Pirates Booty. And then that being said, we are a kid's snack. We have wholesome ingredients, and we need parents to feel good about wanting to give this to their kids. So we always have to find that balance of being wholesome and trusted while also being kind of cheeky, irreverent, and fun. And we know, especially with kids, they will see through everything. So just making sure that we're staying true to that, but also giving parents something that they can feel okay with their kids eating and supporting. And then I think lastly, we also want to make sure that since we truly are a snack for everyone, that we're representing that in kind of our storytelling everywhere we show up in the brands. And I think influencers, and specifically the influencer families that we worked with for this, making sure that we had like Lisa mentioned, a diverse range of all demographics, all different family types, to make sure that everyone felt that they were represented by our brand, and that we truly are a brand and a product for everyone.
Yeah, I really love that, Devon. I think it's really important to align your influencer partnerships with the core tenets of your brand and ensure your content is inclusive and reflects the diversity of your consumers. And I will say, as a consumer of Pirates Booty, it really is for everyone. And my family still loves it. Even my older son, who's sort of probably outside of like the core demo. And we know that the influencer industry is really growing rapidly. It's expected to grow to nearly $15 billion this year. So what role do you see influencers playing in your overarching strategy and marketing mix as you look towards the future, Devon?
Yeah, that's a great question. And even in my only about 4 years working in brand management, I've seen it shift so dramatically. So when I started, it's definitely like an afterthought, kind of nice to have if we had some marketing budget left over at the end of the year. Like, let's see if we can make a quick influencer partnership. And that has shifted so much so that now is one of the first things that we plan for. So we're already planning for our next Unlock Your Treasure and locking in our influencer families, even though we're like a year out now. So definitely carving out budget for it in large parts of our budget for it, just because we've seen how truly efficient it is at accomplishing our marketing goals. And then lastly, making sure that every either innovation or seasonal item that we're planning to launch in 2022 is supported in part by influencer programs. Again, knowing that this is a quick and easy way to reach our targets, and not just come at it from like a brand, like try our new product, but for them to see people they already follow and already like talking about our product. So definitely will be a larger part of our budget in 2022. And I imagine just continuing to grow beyond.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, Devon, based on what Daion mentioned earlier about, creators and influencers and so forth, do you see creators also being part of your go forward strategy and sort of thinking about the difference, slightly the nuances between influencers and creators moving forward?
Yes, definitely. And I think we will lean more heavily into creators going forward. We're still a pretty small team, and we have most of our creative and social is done in-house, especially for anything organic. So we've really been seeing that creators can come up with this amazing content for us that we can then share and use as our own and just be super professional looking. So I think while influencers will always have a place in our brand strategy, we will continue to lean more into creators, especially like Daion mentioned, like TikTok is something that's very new for all of us. We're all a little bit older, probably outside of the core demographic there. So leveraging creators for those new platforms will be huge for us going forward.
Absolutely. And just speaking of creators, the ViacomCBS Cultural Intelligence team presented the Culture of Influence white paper yesterday morning at a Brand Innovators session and shared some of the key shifts we've seen in the creator economy. We see 50 million people worldwide saying they are a creator today. So Daion, how would you characterize the shifts happening in this fast-moving space from a talent perspective?
Yeah, I think there's many perspectives out there, or predictions on how it will evolve. But I think as we see like more and more of these platforms emerging and developing and changing rapidly, it's going to continue to give birth to a whole new class of creators and influencers. So optionality, I would say, has never been more vast than it is today. Technology also plays a big role in shaping the way in which our team at ViacomCBS, pulls and pitches talent for different programs. I know Devon, during the Pirates Booty campaign, was able to get an insight look into our in-house talent match database, which now has a CMS tool, which really does a full in-depth analysis of the talent that we're pitching. You know, we're able to do competitor screens, we're able to view a talent's audience and demo insights, and get a really in-depth look into their content and their social channels, which I believe is huge. Furthermore, you know, SAG-AFTRA recently announced that they're unionizing creators, which is a huge advancement for the industry. I think there's always been like this stigma for the word influencer and society questioning whether or not, like, you know, an influencer can be, you know, a part of this, you know, secret group of people, right? But now getting the SAG card, which has been long code for like breaking into the industry, is now being granted for influencers and creators, which I believe is great. And it really is helping them to feel validated and to cement their place in culture. So it's going to continue to evolve the industry. And I'm just excited to see where it goes from here.
Absolutely, Daion. I think it's incredible. Like, you know, recently the changes you mentioned around SAG-AFTRA, and again, kind of moving the creators deeper into the world of Hollywood and kind of continuing to blur those lines between, you know, now I'm sort of walking away saying like they're influencers, content creators, professional actors. And so, you know, as we take a look at sort of the success of this year's partnership from a creative and performance perspective, Devon, what do you learn in year one that you're going to translate into year two?
So I think one of the big things is we were so successful year one, which we expected it to be, but I think it even exceeded all of our expectations. So now we really have to make year two bigger and better. So a few of the key learnings we've had were that while the long form YouTube content was really great and really did drive that brand love and affinity, we're going to be leaning a little bit more into influence in year two, and focusing on some of the lower funnel tactics, since we saw those had really high conversion rates to driving to the sweepstakes, which ultimately is our big goal for the program. We're also, so last year, everything was still little bit up in the air with COVID. This year, we are hopeful that we can bring this into the real world a little bit more, and have some in-person experiences. So I am super excited that we're going to be participating in Nick Fest, and one of the sponsors for that, and bringing our influencer families to Nick Fest to kind of capture some on the ground live content for them, with interacting with Pirates Booty. I think there's going to be a big built out pirate ship, which we're super excited about, and just feel really great that that'll help drive more excitement as they're posting to their audiences online. And then lastly, we decided to leverage some of Nickelodeon's most iconic IP, and licensing Spongebob for 2022. So he will be on pack. He will be on the website when you go to put in your sweepstake code. And we've just seen the huge success that Spongebob has had for CPG brands for decades now, and that it is still continuing to grow and perform when those products have him on pack. So very excited. We feel like he's the perfect partner for us for this key age range, and just continuing to drive that connection and engagement with our families. So really excited for 2022.
Yeah, I think 2022 is going to be incredible. I'm so glad that we are adding the IP alignment on pack. I think it's a great complement to the program, and leaning heavily more into, I would say, the influencer space and an on the ground experience. I'm just really excited about, you know, the team working with you, Devon, and your team for 2022. And as you mentioned, we're already having those conversations now, if everyone can believe it, based on timing. Well, I have a few questions in the chat, so I thought maybe I'd go. We have just a few minutes left to sort of have some questions. This one's from Pete. It's how important is aligning a consumer brand with a trusted media partner as you engage fans off the grid? I guess maybe Devon, that could be a question you could answer.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the most important thing, especially for us as we're kind of learning how this all works. We definitely don't have the depth of knowledge as much as these, like ViacomCBS as a partner. So making sure that we are working with people who have that full knowledge of the landscape, and that can work really well with our creative agency and our media agency to make sure that everything we're doing is safe and not going to cause any problems for the brand, and just help to grow that brand love and equity, I'd say is probably our #1 priority and key learning from this year.
Great. And I have another question for you around, Devon, around the snack industry. So as you know, the snack industry is extremely competitive, and I would want to make, I want to know what are a few top things a new brand coming up in this space should focus on. Is it packaging or pricing or social media marketing, awareness funnel?
Yeah, that's a great question, and definitely always a little bit tough to answer. I think the key thing for a new snack brand is just truly knowing your like key point of difference. As you mentioned, it is a super crowded space. And I think it can either be your point of difference, doesn't have to be the product itself. I mean, Pirate's Booty is essentially just a cheese puff. There's a lot of other cheese puffs on the market, so it certainly can be the product if you have added benefits or something unique there. But also, if not, just coming up with a really strong brand or something that consumers can kind of latch onto or appreciate. So whether it's a fun name or a fun mascot, that's really worked well for us. And then I think once you have that point of difference nailed down, things like pricing and packaging and all that will kind of fall into place, especially as you start doing some test market learnings and more consumer research. So that would be my key takeaway. But yeah, I think it's definitely a tough space to start in.
Yeah, and anything, Dion, to add to that in terms of, working with a brand that might be up in, a newer brand, and as Devon mentioned, sort of identifying whatever your, that unique, selling point is, and then sort of building your campaign and strategy around that. But from an influencer, content creator perspective, anything to share?
Yeah, I would say that, one thing that our team prides ourselves in, our talent team, is that we truly are in a business of protecting not only ViacomCBS and our client, but also talent too as well, and hearing what they need and how they truly value a partnership and how they want to, give those added value, components to a program because they love it so much. And what we're hearing a lot is that, they really want to have a seat at the table, right? Not to only just use their platform, but to also ensure that the messaging is going to be authentic and relatable to their audience. So we have just seen that it's so important just to create that partnership where everyone's holding hands and everyone walks away happy and feeling like this was truly a great partnership, and we can't wait for another one to come. So I would just say that is truly paramount based on our conversations we've had with talent on creating a great partnership.
Great. I had just a few other questions. I think I went through the chat, but I just wanted to know, just more out of curiosity, Devon, any new product innovations that are coming up for 2022 for Pirate's Booty that you're able to share at this moment in time?
So a few that I'm excited about. So seasons are always really important for Pirate's Booty. We know that's a way to re-engage families, especially with young children, as the kind of creating seasonal special moments are so important. So we have a few seasonal shapes coming out, which are super fun. We have some for Halloween currently in market and some for holiday that will be coming later in the year, next year. And I also think they're just like crunchier and cheesier. So personally, they are my favorite products. And then we also have for the spring season coming up, our first like colorful Pirate's Booty. So it's a tricolor mix, all naturally colored, using vegetables. And so that one's super fun. I love the packaging. And then a little bit later in the year, you may be seeing our first spicy type of Pirate's Booty in the channel. So also been sampling a lot of that recently. It is delicious, and I'm very excited for that to come to market.
I feel like the spicy product SKU will attract a lot of, additional and new customers. My son loves anything spicy, so I'm sure
that's our goal. Try to, as kids continue to grow up and age, kind of keep that brand a little bit longer with some bolder, spicier flavors for sure.
Absolutely. And I just, Daion, I just wanted to say, I was just wanting to get your opinion here. You know, when you talked about earlier, there's this blurring the lines between creators and actors and influence, you know, in Hollywood. So, you know, we're starting to see creators starring in movies, TV series, and the like. Do you have any thoughts on like what you think will be the next evolution as they continue to grow and expand, creators as they start to, you know, become, I would say, like more blended with Hollywood?
Yeah. Earlier you mentioned, Lisa, that there's 50 million creators out there, right? So I mean, we have to only, you know, expect that there will be more innovation and disruption in the industry, right? So I think we're going to continue to see this infusion of creators stepping into the Hollywood scene and the Hollywood scene stepping into the digital scene, right? So I'm super excited to see where it goes and how it continues to evolve. It's hard to say, like, to pinpoint exactly what will happen, but I think we're going to see a lot more synergies across both groups as time progresses.
Awesome. Well, I didn't know if either one of you, Devon or Dion, have any additional sort of parting words, thoughts to share before we close out our panel.
Nothing on my part. I mean, Devon, I'm going to grab me some Pirates booties today after this panel.
Oh, I was going to ask you, Devon, any updates on where like are Captain Bob and Crunchy the Parrot, like, are they going to be like evolving and popping up in new places in 2022? Maybe they'll be at Nick Fest.
They definitely will. So that is all part of the plan. We are working through how that's truly going to come to life. But yep, I think you will be seeing them a bit more. And then something I'm always really excited about or interested in, I'm not sure when it'll happen, but really giving them like more of a voice and a personality that'll come to life later on, whether it's through a celebrity talent or just something internal. But yeah, always exciting and fun to think about how we can continue to leverage our characters.
Awesome. I'm excited for that. I can't wait to see what that creative evolution looks like. So I just wanted to thank you both, Devon and Daion, for an incredible conversation this morning on the evolution of the rapidly changing influencer landscape, where influencer marketing is fitting into Pirates Booty's overall strategy and kind of moving forward, and the successful Nickelodeon and Pirates Booty partnership in 2021. Here's to an incredible year 2 in 2022. I also wanted to mention that the ViacomCBS Culture of Influence white paper is available for those who missed the session yesterday and are interested in learning more about the creator space. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your morning.